Yeah, and also as well, if you look at them as a team, they win a lot of aerial duels as
They
well,
do,
which
yeah.
you've mentioned to us. Because we're not a massive team in terms of height, that could be an issue for us as well. And they're also really good at stealing the ball off the opposition, so therefore they're going to press us as well. So they're things to watch as well. Of course, they attack set pieces in numbers as well. That's where their real strength has been this season, which is why they've done well. So welcome back to Small Little Alliance FC. And Birmingham City have just come off a defeat against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium, which put Birmingham City in the relegation zone. Our next match on Wednesday at St.Andrews at Knighthead Park is against Cardiff City in what is now a must-win game. With only 5 matches left for the remainder of the season, Birmingham City now need to start pick up points. And myself and Matt are going to discuss the match. So I'm going to go straight over to Matt and say, Matt, Cardiff City coming up. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, after the back of the weekend we've just had, all our home games are now so important. Of course, we lost to Leicester, and I think most Blues fans will hold their hands up and say they didn't really expect to get much there. However, Plymouth won, Sheffield Wednesday won, and Huddersfield won. So all the teams around us managed to pick up those valuable 3 points. So these home games now are absolutely must-win games. And when you look at Cardiff, Norwich and Coventry, you know, Cardiff would be, I think, the most winnable home game that we do have. So for me now, this turns into a must-win game, and it's going to be an absolutely crucial 90 minutes, or 90 plus, what it might be. But I've been encouraged with what I've seen for the past 2 games. You know, the players are turning up, they're battling for everything, they're fighting for everything. And Cardiff are an odd team. They're not quite going to make the playoffs, but they're in no threat of relegation either, in my opinion. I think they sit in 11th. They sit in 11th at the time of recording.
They won't get relegated. They've got,
exactly.
they've got 58 points, so they're more than safe.
So they've kind of got nothing to play for, but they're always quite dangerous teams to play. But they're an interesting team. I just want to quickly reference my laptop. So in the last 6 games, they have beat Coventry, Ipswich and Huddersfield, 3 great results, but they've also lost to Swansea, Sunderland and Hull. So a really varied mixed bag there, and quite an unpredictable team, I think, Cardiff. But, you know, it's going to be a very tough game, and I would love it if we did the double over them. I think we need to. I think this is a must-win game now for us at home.
Well, what's interesting is if you were to ask me who I thought the surprise packages of the Championship would be this season, firstly it'd be Ipswich Town. I think everybody would agree they've surprised everybody. And second, I'd say Cardiff City. And the reason for that is that when they started the season, I think they had a transfer embargo, and there's all sorts of things going on at Cardiff. And you looked at their squad and wondered how they were going to, you know, cope in the Championship. And I think, well, for me, they've exceeded any expectations that I thought. I think they're a good side. You know, I think they're a really good side, a really good solid side. And they've had, like you mentioned already, some of the good teams that they've beaten. So this game is not going to be easy. It's sort of their form is so hot and cold.
That's what I mean. That's why I reference those results, because there's some top teams there and some mid to low teams there. So
but you know, they're not going to roll over for us. You know, they're a solid team, and they're going to try and come at us. So as you mentioned, they've won 3 and lost 3 of their last 6 matches. We've lost 5 and won 1. So obviously, from a form perspective, you would argue that they are in better form. What's interesting about Cardiff, did a bit of research on them as well. They scored 19 goals from open play and also 19 from set pieces. In fact, they've got the highest amount of goals from corners in the whole Championship. 10. 10 goals they score from corners. So basically, we're going to have to watch that. You know, we're going to have to keep an eye on making sure we don't give silly free kicks away or even give corners away, because we know that they're a team that is very, very capable of scoring goals from those positions.
Well, if you look at our height and physicality as well, free kicks and corners already sort of make me nervous when I'm down St Andrews, because, you know, I'm looking at our team and they look like a bunch of schoolboys, don't they? Just physicality and height-wise. So if Cardiff are good at set pieces, that automatically makes me a little bit anxious, I must admit.
Probably however, the best in the Championship.
Against Preston, there was no corners. Let's hope we keep that theme running until the end of the season.
Yeah, and I work on the principle that if we can keep possession and put pressure on teams, then we're preventing them from having these opportunities anyway. So again, it comes down to the press and the players, you know, really putting the shift in again, because and not giving silly free kicks away. You know, that's really important, that we don't give silly free kicks away, because they will hurt us if we do that. So have you got any key players that you've looked looked at for their team?
So the reason, I've looked at some players, I looked at some goals and assists, and what you've just said is really interesting because I noticed a pattern. A lot of their defenders score goals, and a lot of their defenders are scoring goals because of the set piece element that you just referenced, which is really interesting. So, just before I get into their key players, they average Cardiff this season have averaged 44% possession in most of their games this season. So we are going to get a bit more of the ball, especially being the home team. I really expect us to push them and press them. We'll come on to Blues in a minute because Rabbit seems to be setting his formation and so at the moment as well. But they tend to dabble between two formations, a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-4-2. The last 3 games they've set up as a 4-4-2, which I thought was really interesting. One of their key players, which stood out for me, is Perry Young. 6 goals, 4 assists, and he's their right back. He's been playing at right back.
Is he right back?
He's a right back. Well, he can play right wing, but when I was doing my research on the last couple of games, he's been starting in their right back position, which is really interesting.
It's an interesting one. That his surname as well. If you're going to go and buy a shirt and you haven't got a lot of money, that's the name you want on your back, isn't it? You're just paying for 2 letters, aren't you?
Exactly.
I didn't realise. Did you say he was a right back?
Right back, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't realise he was a right back.
Because I saw because he's got 6 goals and 4 assists. I saw that and assumed he was a striker or attacking mid.
He's their joint high scorer.
Yeah, exactly. So I was really surprised when I did my research to find out he's been playing at right back.
Well, that was news to me. So
I saw Carlin Grant 6 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Joe Riles 1 goal, 7 assists. Demetrius Gutas 4 goals. He's their centre half as well. So again, showing that defensive contribution. And also from the set pieces. And Jamilu, apologies if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Jamilu Collins again 1 goal, 4 assists, and he's their left back. So again. They are relying on, or they get a lot of defensive contributions in the attacking part of the pitch. So it's going to be a really interesting game. But I think Rabbit seems set in his formation now, doesn't he? He seems to be set on that 4-2-3-1. If we're just going to talk about the spine of the team, I think it'd be Iwu and Sanderson in the centre backs, Paik and Bielek in the middle, Jordan James attacking into Stansfield up there in the middle. Just if we're going to talk about the spine of the team, and then I think we're going to have Ruddy in goal, obviously. Laird at right back and Buchanan at left back. But what would be interesting, and I know he's had a poor couple of games recently, but could Drama possibly get back in the team? A lot of people on social media were saying, well, actually, Drama was right back. It's all ifs and buts, but that goal against Leicester possibly could have been avoided because he's a bit more switched on.
Yeah. He'll be one of the players pushing, I think.
Yeah, and then I think Miyoshi and Bakuna will be in those attacking sides of Stansfield with Jordan James in the middle. I think that's how Blues is going to set up.
Which is exactly the same way they set up against Leicester.
Yeah, exactly.
And the same way they set up against Preston. But the only thing is because we've got another game quickly off the back of this, so from Wednesday we play again at home on Saturday, whether Gary Rowett decides to do a little bit of rotation. Yeah. I don't think he will. I think that, a good team is one that doesn't change that often. So my gut feeling is exactly what you just said for the Blues team. I think that he'll set up exactly the same way as the previous game. I think he should.
Yeah, and I really hope, one, we've said this in the majority of our last sort of 4 or 5 videos, concentration.
Yeah,
our centre halves especially and our defence needs to be concentrating for the full 90 plus. We need to have better decision making. We can't be affording really cheap, easy goals, and they clearly like to get a lot of crosses into the box. So we need, again, defensively. Buchanan and Laird, when teams go out wide, they tend to tuck in, and I just don't understand it. I would like to see them gunning out and stop that cross coming into the box in the first place. It's almost like we're a team that doesn't mind crosses coming into the box to me over the course of this season because we've seen it so many times. And with their right back and left back getting so many assists, they're going to go out wide. They're going to be getting crosses into the box. And we, as a defensive setup, we need to be solid.
Yeah, and also as well, if you look at them as a team, they win a lot of aerial duels as well, which you've mentioned to us. Because we're not a massive team in terms of height, that could be an issue for us as well. And they're also really good at stealing the ball off the opposition, so therefore they're going to press us as well. So they're things to watch as well. Of course, they attack set pieces in numbers as well. That's where their real strength has been this season, which is why they've done well. So there's lots of real things to watch with Cardiff, And as I said to you, they are my second place surprise team in the Championship. And as a team, Cardiff have always been quite a solid team, but because of their financial issues that they've had over recent years, not been able to spend, just like a lot of teams have been relegated, and they don't, the parachute payments finishes. I think that this season been a real surprise because I think everybody expected them to be pretty much where we are, in the battle for relegation. So fair play to them, and what they've done. And also, we go not through all their results, but look at some of the teams they've beaten as well. Definitely proved to be a good, solid team.
Even in the last 6 games, they beat Coventry and Ipswich. No, massive,
Yes.
massive wins. I mean, in fact, Dad, me and you were at the Millwall game, and we watched the Cardiff Ipswich game on the concourse. Remember, because it was the early kickoff, and they scored really 2 late goals.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And again, what's the pattern? Late goals. What the Blues like to do recently, we concede late goals. Again, we need to be switched on. We need to concentrate. And for me, this game's going to be won or lost on set pieces and crosses into the box. Again, similar to how we've been conceding goals. I don't think it's going to be busy in the middle of the park. I think it's going to be quite scrappy. I think it's going to be down the wings. And I, as I said, I think the key to beating Cardiff is going to be stopping that supply. Let's stop the crosses coming into the box.
Yeah.
Let's cut out their aerial threats. Let's win our aerial battles where we can. And I think we'll do okay. Let's stop silly mistakes. Let's be switched on for the full 90. And this now for me is a must-win game. We have to come away from this game on Wednesday with 3 points.
Every game from now onwards is do or die. You know, we have to have points now because, I'll say, teams around us. I mean, it's pretty tight down there. So obviously we are now joint points with Sheffield Wednesday on 42. But I think up to 15th or 16th, they're on 46 or 47. So one win can change that position of those teams. Like we've seen, I'm hoping that because we've come back off the game against Leicester, which are a top team. I'm hoping that we are now in our lowest position because now we've got games that, you know, and full respect to all the opposition we've got to play. They're all good teams.
Of course they are.
These are games that we now are in a position where we've got to get points. We've got to.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Leicester result now, because they're a top team, put us down into the bottom 3. I'm hoping from now onwards that we are going to start to sort of push up.
So on Saturday, we had a game where we lost to Leicester and all the teams around us won. So that put us in the bottom 3. If we win on Wednesday and all the teams around us lose, we leapfrog pretty much 3 or 4 teams. We go above. We could potentially go above Plymouth. And I know I'm reaching for the stars there in the context of expecting other results to go in our way. I'm just giving an example of how close it is down the bottom of the table. 1 or 2 wins, you can really start to climb up out of that bottom. But these are really, really crunch games now. You've got to win all your home games. So we've got Cardiff at home, followed by Coventry on Saturday. We've got Huddersfield away, then Rotherham away, and then Norwich at home.
The other way around, actually. So we've got Rotherham first, and then Huddersfield.
Apologies,
away. And then finish at home to Norwich.
Exactly. So all those 3 home games for me now are absolutely crucial. And I've got a feeling we are, but I really don't want to go into that last game against Norwich needing something because Fulham in 2019 comes to mind. You know, we needed to win that game in the end there to stay up. And thankfully we did. But I've got a feeling something like that is on the horizon again.
My word. If we need something out that last game, I hope they got St. John's ambulance there for me because it's going to be really nervy, isn't it? You know, but I'll take it though because if it means that we've got to get something, I'd take it to be in that position rather than be in a position where we are already down.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I don't think we will be. I think that these are the crucial games. It's difficult, isn't it, as well, Matt, just to finish, that to try and establish what the points level is going to be for the threshold. It keeps changing.
50, I think.
It looks like it now because the teams around us keep winning. That means that if it's 50, that means now we need 8 points, which is either 3 wins and a draw out of our last 5 games, which is a big ask, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Or, you know, it's a couple of wins, couple of draws. Again, out of the last 5 games, it's a tough one, but all we can do is just look at each game and just try and win each game.
When you look at those games and just the way the league seems to be panning out, the Huddersfield game seems like it's going to be it really is going to be possibly a decider of survival or relegation for both teams. So that's going to be a huge game. But, you know, let's keep plugging away as a team, as a fan base. Let's get behind the boys. Yeah. Let's try and get as many bums on seats as we can at St.Andrews on Wednesday. Nighthead's going to be, I say Nighthead. Wagner's going to be there because he's got the open house this Tuesday coming up as well. So he's going to be in the stadium on Wednesday. Let's pack it out. Let's make it as intimidating as we possibly can because we've shown several times this year when we turn up St.Andrews and bring the noise in numbers, we can make that an intimidating place and we can get those 3 points. Yeah. So let's get behind them. As you said, I think we said it in the Leicester video, let's leave the post-mortem till the end of the season. There's no point in jumping on the negativity bandwagon. Let's get down there, let's get behind the boys, and let's get that 3 points against Cardiff on Wednesday. Yeah,
I couldn't have said it better myself. But what do you think, Birmingham City supporters, about the match against Cardiff City at St.Andrews at Nighthead Park? Do you think we will win? Let us know in the comments below, not just about that match, but about your thoughts for the remaining games that we've got. Just pop a comment below. It's always good to hear your thoughts and comments. If you did like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And also, don't forget to check us out on our social media channels and you'll see the handles for our X page and Instagram page appearing on the screen right now. And of course, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And myself and Matt will see you on the next video.